He used to say, I'm from Indian Navy, I'm a very disciplined person, and my life, in my full life, I had been working very hard, and so he was very much actually booming with energy. So he's a pack of energy for us, and we were six children, and I have two brothers, elder to me, and one sister and two sisters younger to me. So it's a very big family at that time. And he was working as a chief petty officer in Indian Navy, and he retired from the Navy after some 35 years. And he has worked in many number of companies. He has worked in oil refineries. He has worked in Instrumentation Limited. So many companies he has worked because he had some certificate from Indian Navy, which is a boiler operator certificate, Class A boiler operator certificate. And at that time, he could find job very easily, and his nature is such that if he doesn't like one job, he used to quit the job within 2 or 3 years. So he used to move from one place to another. By 3 years, he used to roam in all the places, and he doesn't bend in front of politics or any other things, and he is not much interested in those things. Only working hard. And even in his that boiler operator session, it's very dangerous area where you can't sleep, because if some pressure or some temperature rises beyond a value, we have seen in papers, it will get burst. So he usually says that this is NV Nair's cabin, so nobody can enter this without asking me. That was he. Okay, so from that person, so we have learned a lot as daughters. Okay, so he usually says that daughters should always stand on their toes, because you are supposed to be more excellent than that the son. That's what he say, and he used to love us like anything. His world is actually full of love for his children and his family. Only that, he doesn't have much friends. He work hard, he comes to home, sit with us, and whenever the power cut comes, he asks us to sit in as a round table. He used to discuss every day's what happened in your school. Even that half an hour, he discussed everything. What happened in school, how much mark you scored, and he's very particular in mathematics. That's important. So like we usually say that the world is in mathematics, something like that, something related to that. He always think in that way. So I was good in mathematics, and so I used to get all good things. My one elder brother also was good in mathematics. All the others, it's something like useless for him. That's his view. That's his view. Okay, and I think he studied in same class as T.N. Session. We had our election commissioner T.N. Session, and when he used to study in the school, he's not from a very rich family. It's like agricultural family. So you know that time, that is in 1930s and all, what that families used to be, 1940s, 1950s and all. If we have agriculture, we don't have anything. Only those people living in cities, they have much better life. So he moved on to little town cities and all in search of better life. So that was his nature, and about him. Okay, so we used to discuss everything with him, and especially if we want something, I think that daughters, if they want something, they usually approach their father first, not mother. Mother always objects for everything, so they find always something bad in every steps that you take. You want to do something alone, so mother will say, how can you do alone? You are with some boys, you can't be do it like that. So my sisters used to tell, she speaks very much to everyone, so don't let her do that. So that's what is the feedback from the house. So I speak to all the boys, all the girls alike only. So that is a big problem in my house. So my father always asks me, what do you want? See, even if I want to go for a picnic or a tour, he just asks me, what do you want? So you want to do that, you go ahead and do it. Like that, every steps in my life, I never felt that I am a daughter or I am a girl or I am a woman. Nothing I felt till now. My husband also supports me like anything, and my children also like that. I speak what I feel. That's what. So I never got that. That is the blocks or so many obstructions that you should be like this, ladies should be like this, women should be like that. Nothing was there in my whole life with my father as well as my in-law. So that was him. And I got married, and we all got settled. And thing is that my father used to be very disciplined, and some days he started forgetting things. That's the thing. So he used to say
Yeah,
something today, and the next day he forgets to. He can't stick on to that. That what he's thinking is that he has since said that. So that is what he started. His memory started fading, I think. So he used to say something today, the next day he used to say that I didn't say those things. So that happened, and he used to be a man of his own control and nature. That every others thought that he is having a little some different attitude. That was some beginning of the thing, I think. And his walking pace, he used to walk very fast. So his walking pace got very slow. He used to take one leg and then the next leg, and he used to drag the leg and he used to walk. So that was one, I feel some symptom of getting memory loss. First symptoms, like he's walking very slowly. So we didn't know that why he is walking very slowly and all. We understood that he is walking very slowly. He used to walk very fast, and he is from defense. Obviously, he used to walk very fast, and he used to do exercises, all those things. So that was the first symptom, I think. But we never knew that he had some problem. And my father and mother had a very good relation. So we used to love how they are together. So we could never imagine such a couple in our life. So they used to love each other very much. So never I have heard a complaint from my mother about my father. And my father also used to love my mother like anything. So even if the wedding, if you go, if they split you, gents one side and women one side, he used to say, no, my wife will sit beside me only. That's what he used to say. What is there? She's my wife. She's sitting beside me. Why you should go and sit near the woman? It's not required. So that is how he used to carry her. That's what I feel. It's like always in his journey, he used to be very much, he used to pamper her like anything. That's the relation between them. So, and I was working in Trivandrum at that time also. And one day I had some exam duty. I had an invigilation duty, and my daughter and my sister was there at my house. And one day he just went out of the house. So they didn't know where he went. After some time, they just went behind him. So he was running. He said, you go back, I am going somewhere, like that. And he's running on the road. My daughter and my sister is running behind my father. So what they were thinking, he's going alone. So where he is going, he didn't inform. Some fight has occurred between father and mother. Because of that, he is going somewhere. That's what they thought. So he has forgotten, and he's going somewhere, and he thought somebody is chasing him, and he's running in front. He's not recognizing who is coming behind, and he's just running in front. My daughter is only 10 years old at that time, and my sister and daughter is running on the road. Suddenly, what did, he caught an auto. So now their running pace is different from the auto space. So he got an auto, and he just got inside that auto. Then my sister and my daughter is calling me. They are asking what to do. This is happening. So then what I said was that you do one thing, you catch another auto and go in front of them. And they had blocked the auto. And I asked the first auto to communicate with the second auto driver, and gave the phone to him, and somehow convinced the auto driver to get him back to home. But that couldn't happen, and he just got inside the bus, and he went to Guruvayur temple. It's very far from our place. And my brother and some people went behind him and caught him there and brought him back. So that was one incident. And the second incident was that he just got inside one auto from the house. Every day he'll say something with mother. and somehow he'll just walk out of the house. So he can go somewhere, that's not a problem, but because of this fight my mother won't say anything. She'll just keep quiet. Maybe he is angry with my mother, that's why he's going outside, that's what she's thinking. So he went in one auto, and afterwards he forgot where he's going. So the auto driver was asking where to go, sir, like that. Some places he said, the auto driver understood there is some mistake. Then he asked, okay, I'll drop here, you give me the money. Then what he did is he was giving his wedding ring to the auto driver. So the auto driver, he sensed something, and he said that, okay, where should I drop? Then he said, finally, you drop me to some police station. So since he was working in defense, he was not afraid of police or police station. So he had some information in his head that if you go to police station, something is getting solved. So he was in police station, and till evening, my mother was not able to track him. So she called my sister, and my sister and her husband, they somehow went to the police station. They gave the photo of my father, and in one police station they had given this photo. They circulated this in WhatsApp to the other police station, and finally from one police station we got the information that he is there. So somehow we tracked him there. So this became a routine, like he just goes somewhere and we are running after him. I am in from Trivandrum, my sister is working in dairy science, so her job is also something like that. We couldn't follow him every day and every time. So finally what happened is that I asked my mother what to do. So what she is telling, night he will get up, he will say something, he will try to snatch her chain and tell that it is his chain. So many things happen like that. And sometimes he will say that his mother, that is my mother, he recognizes her as a person who is taking care of him. It's not like his wife. So what he will say that, okay, you are taking care of me. Okay, so you get the payment for this and you try to get a better life. Something like that. He's talking to a maid. So he's thinking that somebody is taking care of him and he should pay her what she is deserving. And something like that. Sometimes he will say this also jokingly, shall we get married? Like you are taking care of me, so shall we get married? I don't have anybody. Like that he used to say. So that and all, I think they had taken it as a joke, like something, okay, he's saying something because something like that. Finally my mother used to call me every night and say all these things, and finally I got transfer from Trivandrum and came to Trichur. And I thought that if I change the environment, he may not walk out. He's walking out because he's familiar in to some places. That's what I thought. And I took him to Trichur, where I got transferred to Government Engineering College, Trishur. And there I stayed in one flat first. So what happened is that every day he will start getting out of the house. So what I used to do, I have to go to college. So there is no possibility. He's standing in front of the door, and he's very healthy. He's 80, 85, but he's very healthy and 73 kgs and no disease. He doesn't have any disease. So we can't just push him, or we can't just take him, and we cannot do anything. He's very healthy person. So how will I get out of the house? He's standing in front of the door. So I cannot get out of the house. So sometimes by some juggling methods, I'll somehow try to get out of the home and go to college. That used to be the routine every day. And he used to shout, and he used to become very aggressive. I don't know about the ladies, but he used to become very aggressive.
Recording in progress. You have to unmute Sindhu.
Yeah. Okay. So one day, my mother and me took a decision that we'll take him to a doctor. So how we will take him to the doctor? That's not possible. He doesn't have any disease. But my mother used to have leg pain, all those things. So what we did was, I just said to my father, okay, we'll go and just check mother. She's having some problem. That's what I said to him. Okay, then my mother and my father, we three of us went to the doctor. So first I took the appointment. I went and said to the nurse, we took an appointment with neurophysician. So I said to the person who is standing there, attender, that my father is having some problem like this, and he will not allow us to examine him. So what we can do is that I will say that mother is the patient. So I went and consulted the doctor and said him, so sir, this is the situation. See, please, we will do like this. So first, my father is asking why we have come here. We don't have any problem. Why we are coming here? Okay. Then we took him inside, and he started examining mother. So later I said, anyway, we have come to examine mother. We'll have a test for you also, because lot of it is since lot of time since we have done a test, we'll do the test. So he was talking to doctor. See, I am a man of high discipline. I am from Indian Navy. You should do some. He is advising the doctor that something is not right there, and the doctor has to be more disciplined. All those things he used to explain, and he is telling this very often. He used to repeat the statements very often. Finally, the doctor said, "Okay, we'll do some scanning, some blood test." He agreed to all those things. There was no objection for all those things, and finally, the doctor said us it's an early symptom of dementia. We can't do anything. What we can do is that we can only give some medicines so that he is not aggressive. That's what I got information from the doctor. So we started giving some medicines. Even then, his aggressive nature was not reduced. He used to climb the compound wall and jump to the other house, next house. So we were staying in some sort of village like area, and he is very healthy. So we used to lock front door. What he did, he used to come from the kitchen door, and he used to jump the compound wall. So what he is telling to the other person, these people have locked me in this house. They are not looking after me. So try somehow get me out of here. That's what he is telling to other persons. So those people, they don't understand what is dementia, what is this memory loss, all those things. Then sometimes we used to take him to Big Bazaar. Sometimes we used to take him to the zoo, so that he have a change in the atmosphere. In Big Bazaar, sometimes he used to say, he used to talk to the watchman or the security, and he used to advise him. Finally, those people said, he is mad. Why you take him outside? You should not take such people outside. So what we will say? So just we came back. That's what, it's ridiculous to face such situations. We took him to the zoo. See, every person who has put uniform in the zoo, he used to advise them. You take care of the job. You do job nicely. You work hard, like that. So those people, they were looking like something different. Like, why? What is happening to this person? Why he is advising? So we somehow took him back to the home. That's our experience taking him outside. So we are afraid to take him outside because we cannot control him. And when he's sitting inside the house, I have to go to job. And my mother, she doesn't know anything in the world outside the house. So that's what she know. That's how he carried her. So she doesn't know anything outside. So I used to just go to the college, just reach the college. Within half an hour, my mother will call and say he has done something. He wants to go outside. From there, I lot of help has I got from my colleagues and my HODs. So I used to just take the scooter and come back. I didn't have driving license that time. I used to take learners and I used to drive the scooter because I have to come and go back like something very quickly. So no time for taking license and all, because he is running after, no time to get out of the house. So full time engaged in looking after him only. So I took learner's license and I used to take the scooter, come back to home. That time he might be laying down, he will not get up. Then how I will carry a person with 73 kgs, I don't know. I and my mother will drag and keep him on the bed. That time I used to have severe bleeding problems also. So my health also was having lot of problems. So that is another side. So how to look after him was a very big issue. Then we started thinking about home nurses. So we looked for the home nurses. So whoever comes, home nurses, those people, they don't know what is this. They are just thinking, okay, an old person is there, we have to take care of them. And his behavior towards homemates was little different. It was little inappropriate. So those people, they don't understand the things why these people are speaking. So first maid we got, she was good. She understand those things, and she used to just keep quiet. Okay. So later what happened is that he doesn't recognize me as his daughter. He thinks I am his wife, and my mother he thinks as his mother. He, according to him, he is only some 20 or 25 or 30 or 40 years age, and somehow when he is looking, who is young, I am young. So what he is thinking, okay, this is my wife. Then in the evening he will wait for me. When I come, he'll tell, okay Sindhu, come, we'll talk something, some small things we'll talk, like that he will stay. Then he will just start saying something. I will take my daughter who is 10 years old, and we both will lock in one room. My mother will be in the another room, and we'll sit there for hours, 1 hour, 2 hour we'll sit. He'll just start slamming on the door. My husband is not with me always, so he used to work, he has work outside. So one day what happened is that my husband came, and what he is thinking, my wife is there and somebody from outside is coming, and he just locked the door. He took the knife and he said, you should not enter the house. So that's what happened, and he slept outside the house. So one full day he slept outside, and my father was catching the knife, and in the kitchen he's waiting, who is coming inside, like that. So he won't allow any other gents to enter the house. That is another thing. So the doctor is telling that you keep one male nurse for him. How we will keep? I have one daughter, I am one lady, my mother. Three female are there in the house. The doctor is telling you keep a nurse and ask him to go behind him. So that is also not possible. So what we will do? So every day evening after coming from college, I am locking the door and sitting inside. This continued for some time. We took again to doctor. Doctor said nothing is possible in neuro, that is related to neurophysician. He is a neurophysician. Nothing is possible in that area. You have to take to psychiatrist. So we come from a very middle class family, and hearing about taking father to psychiatrist, we got somewhat. So what is this problem? Why he is telling about psychiatrist? That is what we thought. And so we were not, we didn't actually admit in hospital and in psychiatric session. He got aggressive day by day. He locked my mother in bathroom one day, and he stood outside. And I had to come from college, and I had to, through the window, I somehow showed action and said to father, Akshi, we will talk, you come, we will sit and talk. Somehow I said, he came outside, and then I could release my mother from bathroom. So many things happened, one after the other. I don't know how, which problem I will see. See, my 10-year daughter is there. She is seeing this every day. What is her mental condition? My mother, who has been pampered like anything, is seeing all these things. My father is actually using very abusive words towards her. She is hearing it for the first time. So her mental condition is that I have not heard such things in my lifetime. So she is not able to tolerate his nature. So she is also getting little far from him. She is not able to tolerate those behaviors. Her mental condition, she is only some 10 years difference. So he is 84, means she is 74 or 72. So she is also aged. She is not able to manage the conditions of her husband at this age. So all these things happened, and we used to think what we have to do next. So like that, so many things happened. And later what happened is that he used to sit in one side of the house, and he used to tell, okay, this is hotel, okay, you bring some food for me. And he used to sit and order the food. So he used to take food more than what is required. My mother used to take food very late. So she used to take food by 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 10:30. So my father used to eat by 8:30. He'll come at 10 o'clock and ask, you are not giving me food, why you are eating alone? Like that he used to ask. So he used to take food more than 1 or 2 or 3 times. That was the next symptom. So we went to doctor and asked. So he said, you don't give food, rice and all night, you give some biscuit or bread, something like that. But he doesn't want that. He's telling, I want rice, I want curd, I want sambar. So many things he used to order. My mother used to prepare everything and give. Same condition he's ordering in the night. So later we used to give biscuits. Later he'll come. but his stomach is full, but his mind is not accepting that it is full. That is the problem. So he can't eat, but he'll just order. So after some time, actually he started eating too much. Same, after some time he stopped eating also. See, he doesn't eat food. He's not opening his mouth. If you put the food inside, he doesn't chew. It stucks inside the mouth, and his health started deteriorating. That's what happened. Then he got some symptoms of fever. We took him to hospital, got him admitted. Then there also he behaved very badly towards the nurses, all those things, but they took good care of him. No problem, they didn't do any problem, they understood the problem. I didn't get support much from the doctor. That was the main part, because even the doctor is understanding these things. The doctor didn't give much support, they didn't give much counseling, they didn't help us in understanding how we should look after him, all those things. And finally, so these were the journey through which I passed through. It was very much like I cannot say that it was very painful, but we were not aware. That ignorance, we didn't have much awareness about what we should do. I used to think if I had some place where I can leave him in daytime and take him in the night, that would be of great help. That was what I thought later. I didn't have much access to ARDSI at that time. I didn't know the place, but it was somewhat little far away, and I was not knowing driving also. So I couldn't understand where to leave him. So that was the thought. And later he got some wound in his back buttock, that is removing the diaper, and from that it started one by one. From where it has to start, that was one problem. And later he got bedridden. So that time the doctor asked us to put urine tube and mouth tube, but I was very much reluctant to put that. What I thought was, once you do that, all the infection starts coming. Then I was not possible to look after my father. Then my sister and my mother took him to the native place. He wanted to go there. And later he had a he had some 2 months in hospital, bedridden. And finally he said bye to this world. That's what I can say. But his life was very much inspiring to me. And the only thing I felt, the pain I felt in my heart, was that I couldn't actually look after my father well, because I was not aware about what was happening to him. And it happened in a very short span, within 1 year. Maybe because of his age, he was moving from one stage to the another very fast. So that I couldn't, I didn't get much time to accept the change, and to adapt to the situation. That's what I can say. And after coming to Trivandrum back, I thought that the persons or the people who is working and who has parents like this should have a place where they can take care of. So that's why I thought, in my memory of my father, I thought that I should form a trust where children who want to take care of their parents can put them there, and we can do some activities, like some exercises, some outings, some brainstorming sessions, and so many things which we cannot cure dementia, but at least we can reduce the span of the memory loss. Like instead of happening it very fast, we can at least give them some happiness, which they are actually eligible to enjoy, because they have cared for us in their life. Lifelong they have cared for us. And in our busy world, where we have job, where both the husband and wife is having job, and we are not able to care our parents, not because of our mental, we are not ready to care for them, but because of our problems and situations. I thought we'll have a dementia care and research and development center. I'm working as professor in engineering college in electronics and communication departments at CET Trivandrum. So I have an opportunity to interact with students who work in technology. So they can do something to detect dementia at an earlier stage, or some assistive devices some assistive devices, or something, so that this uh, so this persons with dementia can be given a better life, and their aging can be made little better. So that's why I have formed a trust, that is ORMA, Educational and Charitable Trust, under which I am doing this ORMA D-Care Research and Development Center. That's exclusively for patients with dementia who require customized care. We know that one person is different from another person, so you can't give the same environment for everyone. So that's what I think what I will do after my career. That's the area where I need to focus, because many people in India is having this problem, and it will increase, like our food habits, our lifestyle, all are in such a way that many of the persons are left alone in the house. So we need persons to talk to them, to care them, love them, and be with them. That's more important than giving them medicines and facilities. We need some people to sit beside them, talk to them hours and hours, without getting bored, hearing what they say repetitively. They say repetitively same things. So we need to hear those things. So that's what I feel. That maybe my father was an inspiration or motivation and instrumental in my life to have a twist. Okay, so that's all I have to say about my journey and my father. Thank you.
Excellent, excellent, Sindhu. Actually, you know, it's quite an inspiring journey. We had a brief discussion, but I think with all the audience,
I don't stop,
No.
Anyway, thank you.
So I think while you were talking about your journey and emphasizing that somebody should be there to understand and traverse that journey. I see my dear friend Shobha Auntie being part of this session. It is
I saw in
it
between.
is such an inspiring
I
thing.
Yeah.
Shobha Auntie, నాకు పూలు మాల ఇస్తున్నారా, మాల కడుతున్నారా నా గురించి, పూలమాల. So she's quite an active person, and the next two speakers for today, ma'am, what we'll do is we'll take the question and answers towards the end of the session. So I would like both Smriti and Alok to speak about their journey with their mom while mom is there and she's busy. We just spoke in the morning, and auntie, auntie, hi, ఎలా ఉన్నారు? Yes. So without delaying the introductions, let me just introduce Dr. Smriti, who's a daughter of Shobha Auntie, and she's a doctor and at Zinmore, a lifestyle design studio in Hyderabad, and her brother Alok is a business analyst. Together they care for their mother, Shobha Auntie, our favorite auntie. She comes to the daycare, and I her once in a while, but I want to hear the youngsters speak about their journey, mother, and share their experiences and what kind of support they require in their journey to care for my dear friend Shobha. Over to you, Smriti and Alok.
Hi, namaste, hi all. Yeah, so is it going to be like a questionnaire, or I'm not, you're not audible, Balagaru?
No. So what I'm saying is, like Sindhu has taken us through her journey. You can speak about what exactly happened and what kind of support you require, or where you think are the gaps. Yeah, just take it along the flow, and we have about 15-20 minutes for both of you.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Alok here.
Yeah.
Just brief about my mom and what was her life goal, taking care of her, and how we were actually, brought up from childhood. So everything is now we are paying back to our parents, And yeah, you can see here, she is my mother, Shubha. She has been worked as a bank manager, and then she also worked as a principal for one of the schools. And her qualification is uh, MS in Hindi, MA in Hindi, Master in Arts for Hindi subject. And she got retired as a Hindi teacher in nearby schools working at. Like continuously, she has been always supporting us financially, and all the way she was leading our family in some easily I can say. And yeah, she was always struggling, never gave up any of the job, whatever it is, a big job or small job. Definitely, she would lead that, and she ultimately, always her mindset was like never bend and support our family. Like she was a backbone. I can say in a simple words. I want to clear it. She was a backbone for our family. You can see now, and she has been diagnosed from 2018. And yeah, so after from 2019, we have been attached with ARDSI Hyderabad chapter, and we are getting enough and more support from them. And I got really great insights on this. Alzheimer's thing from ARDSI chapter. I'm very thankful for that. And yeah, still the support is continuing, and I expect much more, more insights on this to grab from them. And the present situation is like being a youngster now, I'm working in an IT field. It's been work from home due to this COVID situation also entirely as pandemic. So from home, actually, I'm taking care of my mother as well as my job. Yeah, so there are few challenges wherein it's not that easy what we think of, but yeah, there are so many ups and downs here. But yeah, I got enough time and sweet memories to spend with my mom, much more time actually than working from office. So yeah, as well as her condition is like completely we take care of her from even her day-to-day activities and all. As earlier she was going to a daycare center here in Hyderabad in ARDSI. Now that is also completely cured for her. It's like more than 1 year now, and we are making some of the other activities for her in home. And yeah, so we are trying to make her cognitively much stronger than how she. That's it from my side. So my expectation is like I'm going through research and articles on online or some of the other source I'm referring. And yeah, always my struggle is towards looking at the disease. What is the actual treatment for this? How can we fix this? At least how can we progress this? Still, my struggle is on for that. So that's from my end. Over to you.
Thank you, Alok. Shobha teacher. Shobha teacher.
Hi.
Can you teach me that game, Shobha teacher? आप मुझे सिखाएंगे कैसे खेलना है? So, Smriti, what we can do is you can also talk about your experiences, anything that you want to.
Yeah. Balaga, చెప్పండి.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you talk about your experiences, anything that
Yeah, as Alok said, it was first of all it was a huge blow on me because I finished my masters and complete education. I was like, let me enjoy my life now, and then I have seen my mom, and I was like, no, something is wrong with her. But now it is like, as I was discussing with Balagaru the other day, I was like, now it is like we are fighting like who are going to take care of her, who is going to be with her for a longer period of time, is going to have the brightest future.
Yes.
So it is like, I mean, she was doing us during our childhood, and she's still creating pavements for us, creating opportunities for us. Like it is like never ending. It's like, I don't know, it's the power of the motherhood, or I don't understand it all. Still, she is creating opportunities for me wherever I go, and it's like me Shobhaga daughter gada. Still I hear things like that, and appudu chesaru amma and లేదు, she's doing till now also. She's giving that vibe, she's radiating that energy, and she is giving that blessings to her kids all the time. So it's yeah, it is challenging, but I think it's an opportunity. Who gets an opportunity to treat their mother like she treated us during our childhood.
Yes.
Challenges are there. Yes, we are learning about life and how to handle things and all, but yes, things will happen, and we have learned a lot during the process of challenges as well.
Right. So
A lot.
How did you just come to know about what was happening?
Sorry, maybe mute lo వెళ్ళిపోయింది బాలగారు. Hello.
how did you know for the first time that she has some issues, or she's facing some problems?
Yeah. So, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
So after I finished my education, and it was all along like 8 to 9 years of hostel life, away from family completely. And my mom was the one who used to call me in the morning, early morning, at presentation in the seminar, and then she would call me early in the morning, 5, 6 o'clock, and she would say, "All the best, beta, do well." And during my examination, final examination, it all happened. I couldn't bother much. And when I used to call her, she would say, "In chest now, Amma," ante, "I'm eating." Then she would say, all of a sudden, she would change the answer like, "I'm sitting." Then I said, then watching TV. Then my father would say, light off ఉంది కదా ఏం చూస్తున్నాను అంటే టీవీ చూస్తున్నాను. We couldn't, I mean, because there is no awareness, because people are, unless the situation has progressed to a level where the signs and symptoms are seen, till then I think this is people should have a diagnostic test or something like that. Like we have BRCA gene and etc. for breast cancer and cervical cancer, we have certain genes, right? In the same, we have to have an test where we can see like early symptoms. We can diagnose like, okay, outundi, and we can start the measures what we can do.
Right.
And the moment I came, I saw that this is not my mom who used to be like with me before. I mean, she used to get aggressive for every small thing.
Yeah.
Now things are supposed to be here, akkad ledu ante she used to be aggressive. Rather, in the before that, it was like if anyone in the home is aggressive, she would be the one who would pacify them.
Yeah.
The roles were interchanged.
Yeah.
Then there I started feeling like, yes, something is happening. We have to start seeing a doctor. And the moment I started making changes in the home and food habits and everything, she used to get more and more aggressive.
Yeah.
Until we got to the first psychologist, we went to Dr. Nivedita. Even there she was a little aggressive towards me, like, even a nut cheyanivadu, even a nit cheyanivadu. I was like, okay, go out. No, you tell to the doctor.
Yeah.
So from there we have seen her and what she was before, and in the school or in the akada, what I guess is in the school, probably when she was preparing question papers, the questions were repeated.
Mm-hmm.
And that was made a huge issue during the meetings they had, teacher and the principal meetings they used to have. Why are the questions being reported? Which she couldn't take it. It was kind of humiliation, because she was always treated as a perfectionist. She would do all things properly. Shobha, when the task, she would complete it without a second look.
Right.
But when she started facing that, she couldn't take that. Ante enduku avutundi, the counting mistakes, paper calculation చేసేటప్పుడు. And few times she used to even break out. And she used to tell, నాకు అసలు ఎల్లబుద్ధి అవ్వట్లేదు, I don't feel like going anymore. And we used to think it's common, questions repeat, అది అవుతూ ఉంటది అని. But we didn't know that it was going at that stage where she was taking it to the heart and feeling humiliated. So then we started, and then we approached Dr. Nivedita, and from then it was like, then certain set of tests like MRI and all, then we came to like it is dementia, and then we had certain wandering experiments which shaked us in and out completely. And then that week itself, I had to resign from my current job, and then I have to sit and solve this. I cannot have this wandering experiences many. So I literally resigned on my job. I was waiting, I was sitting, and then I called ARDSI, then I spoke to Sadia, and I was like, I want a solution. The moment I spoke to him, I went to daycare, and then I started, talking about it, and then I told I want help here. Right. So that is what it happened.
So Alok, can you just tell us that one experience of mom wandering away, and how you got her back?
Yeah, so we have a couple of experiences in fact. So one of the significant was like, which went till the police complaint was we went to Coimbatore on Shivratri, and it was a completely night out with Sadhguru there. It's a major event which happens there. So when we came back, right, everyone was restless and we were into deep sleep. And that day, that morning around 3 or 4 o'clock, she got up and she removed all the bolts of main door and she went out. So literally we were actually not aware of. Everyone was restless and completely into a deep sleep. And when morning 7 o'clock, we saw door is open, and watchman said, yeah, your door is open since morning. I don't know what happened. Then immediately we saw mom is not there in the home. Literally, like from getting up from the bed, I was onto the road searching for her. here and there, everywhere we searched in our colonies and areas, and finally we did to take police help there. So with the help of that CCTV, we were able to see that she was walking away from one by one area. And as the situation, that was literally dark night. At 3 or 4, she was roaming around, and it was a dark night. And unfortunately, she walked till the main door, and there actually there were actually the auto drivers or someone were actually sleeping on the footpath there. Suddenly, they saw her walking there, and they took away with her. And he was actually walking behind her to understand where she is going and what she is. And literally all the chain snatching and all these things happened with her, which was very sad for us to hear that. And yeah, after some time, again, in early morning, nearby around, not early also, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, we brought her back. The patrol van has found her somewhere around 14 kilometers or 10 kilometers away from our home, and they brought her back. So that was really a very danger experience we had.
Right, right. So, Nilanjana ji, Narinder ji, can we open the session for question and answers, or Neera ji, what do you say? Anything else, Smriti and Alok, that you want to add here?
No, I think we're ready for the question. If anything to be asked, we will be answering them.
Sure.
Thank you, both of you, as well as Sindhu. But before we take in any question and answer, I would like Meera to address the audience.
Yes.
Since this is our last, in the sense, we planned that we would have 4 series covering each region of India, and today being the last of the series, I would like Meera to address this, and then of course we promise to come back with a new format very soon. So Meera, please, would you kindly address the audience? Thank you.
Thank you, Nilanjana. I think it's very heartening that, we have had 4 excellent series of, superheroes talking about how they took care of their loved ones with dementia. And today was just an amazing session. Sindhu, you were so candid and frank, starting from, how your father loved you all so much, how he treated you, treated his mom, treated his wife, and then how the scenario changed so drastically. And even without much knowledge or awareness, you all took the best care that you could. So, but that is something all carers, we all go through. I'm also a former carer, and we all go through the same thing. Had we known it, we could have dealt with it better. So had this happened, then, we would have. But I think it was admirable the way you spoke so nicely. And, it was so
I got a private message, right? Time is running out. I didn't see also.
No, but there was not a dull moment. We all enjoyed every word that you said, because you built up the story so well, like how he started off, what a kind of a person he was, and the change that you saw in him. But still, all of you all accepted it, and then you were also worried about your 10-year-old daughter seeing all this. So this is the ideal situation. What happens really happens, and how, as a former security officer, he was advising always all the other persons what they should do. It is so natural. That's exactly what happens, because that part of his memory is still very strong. And then these 2 young persons, you all are doing everything for your mother. And then you say, even now, what she is doing, you're benefiting from her. No, you're not feeling in any way, in spite of the challenges, you don't feel it as, a burden. You feel that, it's a privilege for you all to take care of it. That is why we call you all superheroes, because you're not taking care, such excellent care, and the whole series has been very good. And that's how now we are having, a demand. People want to continue with the series. So it's all started because of Nilanjana. It was her brainchild. We said, let's do something for, caregivers throughout India, because she herself is an excellent, one of the best caregivers I've ever seen. So, that's how we started this series. And then we'll carry this forward, because, this is what we need to do. And so much awareness. And each story is so different. Each person has had a different experience. So we have seen the whole gambit of, various stories, various cases of dementia, the whole how it started off, how you all dealt with it, not knowing when this started, how many years it went on. It's been a fascinating session for all of us. So, I'm really happy that we started this and we'll be continuing this. So now let's move on to the question and answers.
Any questions?
So one thing, Sindhu, when did you hear about ARDSI, or you ever heard about ARDSI?
I came to Trivandrum, ma'am. So
Oh.
from there I Googled like something related to dementia, somebody is working, and I got the name of Robert Matthews, sir. And I contacted sir and asked him like what you are doing there. Anugraha Clinic is the dementia. Then he said, if you are so much interested in that, you join ARDSI. Then I joined ARDSI. I'm an executive member in ARDSI in
Oh.
Trivandrum, and I have gone there so many times. We used to have meetings monthly, and so we used to discuss those things. So I'm actively participating in those things.
When did you join? Were you there when the national conference happened?
No. I was not there. I got transferred only in September 2021. So after that, I joined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing that comes out from most of the speakers is that it's usually the family members that Googles or word of mouth that they hear of the support. It's very unfortunate that we really do not get referrals from the physicians. So basically, when a family members visit the doctor, the care pathway should be such that the doctor will refer to the organizations, not just ARDSI, but any other organization that helps out people with dementia and their family members. But that's not usually what happens. If you hear most of the caregivers, they will say that they were struggling. Once they leave the doctor's office, they're on their own, and they themselves will have to find out the resources that they need. So I think we need to address that, and to do that, we need to really again sit with the physicians, the health community, the medical community, and kind of tell them that this is what the feedback that we get from most caregivers, and if we can really get their support, they just need to refer. Because I think the moment the family caregivers hear of the diagnosis, the first thing that they also need to know is that there is support available. I think that's not what is done, and therefore there's a huge period where they are kind of lost. I would would have liked to hear more from the young, brother and sister, as to what you think, because as future generation of carers, we usually see caregivers who are much aged. They have years of experience looking after their own children, raising a family, but you do not have yet such background, right? I mean, you are starting your life, and you are seeing things in a different perspective. So it's very important that you talk more about your experiences, because the more you talk, it'll be, if not easier, it'll actually help others at your age group to kind of plan their lives around, how to, take care not of only either your father or mother who has dementia, but also of your life, because you need to take care of your life too, because your life is starting, right? So I think these experiences are very important to share, because that will give others hope that it is possible to juggle a lot of things in life, and life is not always perfect, that I will have everything put in place. It's not that. You will have crisis period, you will have struggles, but to keep on going, you have your job, you have your friends, you build your own life. At the same time, you also continue your caregiving. So I think a lot of positives as well as, you know, the difficulties need to be put out in the open for young people to take up, you know, their role as caregivers. So continue to talk and share your messages across every media that you know, medium that you would have. So I would encourage you to do that. And thank you so much for agreeing to speak, because we do not get young caregivers. And this is one thing I had in mind, that, you know, I wanted the young caregivers. And the moment Bala told me that as brother and sister you would like to speak, you know, I just thought that this would be a great opportunity for young people to hear you. And I wish we had more young people, and I think it's up to us to encourage young people to listen to this. So thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. And of course, Sindhu, I loved, as Meera said, the way you kind of you know, build on his image, right? I mean, it's so important. What image you have of him is important.
Really,
And I think,
I feel younger generation is having better thoughts than generations of our age. See, they see things in a better perspective. That's what I feel.
I think,
right. I mean, I
when
think
you-
they are better problem solvers because
Yeah,
they
yeah.
are solving problem all the time, right? Not only with things at home, but also outside their house. Even, you know, the kind of struggles that we had while we were growing up is very different from what my children are going through. I mean, they have to juggle a lot more than we did. You know, so I think there's a lot to learn from the young generation. You know, they can kind of you know, shut down things and focus on things. So they have that ability. They learn. So I think there's a lot. So we need to hear from them a lot, I believe. You know, how they can you know, continue to care give. Yes, Bala.
Yeah, so ma'am, this was the precise reason why I wanted Smriti and Alok to start the South session, because you need that representation coming in from that age group of, you know, youngsters who are caring for parents and, you know, juggling between their own responsibilities, their careers, their personal lives, their well-being. So it takes a lot. You know, I think all of us, including Sindhu and myself, we have traveled the journey, and it was a lot more, you know, manageable because of whatever situations. You know, now I think because of the nuclear families, you know, just being within the family, I think we are constrained to get support from our own family members. So this is where, you know, when we start speaking up in forums like this, and I'm actually glad that, you know, they have brought auntie in the session, you know, so that she's seen there, right? I mean, she's happy, and, you know, and there's nothing to feel shy about. You know, this is a parent who took care of you as a child, and like Sindhu said, you know, nothing stops you from, you know, getting that inspiration and giving back to our parents. So this is I think a good experience for all of us as as past carers, as, you know, people who are associated with dementia in some way. And it's a learning experience for me, at least, you know, because when everyone speak, I get to know. Yes, ma'am. Renuji, you want to say something? You have to unmute yourself, ma'am. You have to unmute yourself. You're mute.
Okay, fine. Yes. I just now heard Ranjana C speaking about neurologists not sending any referrals to Alzheimer's, dementia people. And I thought if an initiative could be taken with the people, like with the Society of Neurologists and all that, so that we tell them, okay, because I've seen some neurologists in private hospitals, and I've spoke to them extensively that please refer your patients to us, but somehow I've never got a reference. So I don't know why that is so. So maybe if our society approaches the neurologists, you know, the Society of Neurologists, and maybe we could incorporate that into, so that we can also help them with counseling and caregiving tips.
Yeah. Ma'am, we in Hyderabad have already, we have a lot of referrals coming in from private doctors and, even government officials.
Okay.
Reason being, we see, it's very clear in our communication that, one, clinical treatment definitely comes from the clinicians. However,
Yes.
the care has a lot of, aspects of, involving professional attenders, family members, service providers and all that. So this is where, ARDSI comes into play.
That's right.
Because, we're talking about daycare centers and, sending families, the loved ones to the daycare center. So we have got in touch with the local neurologists, neuropsychiatrists,
Okay.
refer people, though the numbers are very small because of the limitations that we have, that, maybe we don't have a pick up and drop, for the family members to feel safe.
That is right.
Yeah, those things, if, we can manage through some, sponsorships or, some kind of initiative taken nationally, I think it is going to be really helpful for all of us.
Yeah, because we are also doing counseling online to
Yes.
family carers and all, and it works very well as well. So I was just wondering, why are the private neurologists, practitioners are not referring it to, because probably they, I know, because people who came to us independently, they told us that they said, okay, your mother has dementia, take these medicines and out.
Yeah,
that was all.
Yeah.
So they said we were totally lost. So that was
one more thing, ma'am, just interrupting. Like people, when you say that you have dementia, your parents have dementia, you take them to some caregiver places. What they are thinking, it is something similar to old age home. So there is a different notion about sending parents to dementia care center and old age home. So they consider both similar. So there should be an awareness in the society that the person with dementia, they require care. It's not like you send them to old age home and they are you are just dumping them there. So there is a social problem, like the children who send them to such centers, they will be thought of something different. So that notion should be different, and we should understand that similar to say some diseases, this dementia is also having some problem which we cannot handle and which experienced caregivers can handle. That that the thought should come. Then only it will become different.
I think Srinivas wants to ask a question. Srinivas, you want to unmute yourself? Yeah, Srinivas.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone. My name is Srinivas. I'm founder of Flex Motive Technologies. We make devices for people with disabilities and elderly population. And right now we are working on tracking devices for dementia patients, actually. So we just want to know, like, is there anyone like faced a problem or their ward who missed from home, like who wanders off actually? Can anyone share that experience with us, so we can understand much better, like how to make the device compatible with the Indian case scenario? Is there any case like?
Rithi, you want to add something here? Because I think Srinivas.
So in the previous conversation which we were having about the reach where doctors are not referring to the dementia, I would add a point there. Being from the doctor background as well, unless I have encountered my own personal experience, I was never aware about it. So I feel, and it is more seen like a social stigma is number one, where people are not coming up. And number two is like people are confusing it with a memory loss, which usually people have with age. So the first thing is educating the family is more important, so that they'll have a free, because we never went, though we went to a psychologist, neurologist, like you said, they have never referred, like there is a dementia daycare, you can go in there. But the thing is, as neurologists having a background, they would refer it. But I would say having, giving education to the normal people. Like, this happens, this is normal. It is like any other, having a blood pressure or having sugar. It's like the same thing which happens people who had a stressful life and all. It is very common. Giving education to them so that it is easily, and it is not a social stigma. and the progression which is happening, you're trying to control them, retaining them at home, and trying to, keep them away from people. Like, not giving them social exposure. Like, she's not able to handle the social skills, so let us put her inside. What is she going to do with the reputation of the family if it happens? I think that part is where the people are holding back themselves. But because I have my own, like I've said, I'm working with Zing Mode. We have like all services and all there. I was discussing with Bala Garu where we can put up a service where we can treat people with dementia as well.
Nilanjana,
if I may, just say something here. You see, what Smriti said about educating people first. Whether it's in India or any other countries, the first point of entry for the family caregivers are the physicians. So you go to a physician when you have a problem.
Yes.
And what we are trying to highlight here is that it is not possible for a physician to sit and educate you, right? So all they need to do is refer you to the right place where you will get the information. So the first, pathway is that you inform the physician, or you educate, or you empower the physicians that they need to refer the family members to the right place where they will get the information. So that is only when you will be able to get the information. So so the first point is the physician, whether that is our experience over the years, that every family member would go to a physician first, and they will look for information from there. So the first source of information are the physicians. Now, as Bala mentioned, that each of our chapters, we try and get in touch with the physicians in our each state or the cities that we work. It takes many years to get them in the circle. If I say Calcutta chapter, right now about 60% of the referrals come from the physicians, because it's about 15-20 years of work that has gone behind understanding that you create with the physician. So it doesn't happen over a day or two. It takes many years. And also it depends on, the physician will have to understand exactly, because caregiving is not their expertise, right? Diagnosing a disease is their expertise. So you actually have to educate them what is the benefit, and you as family members will give the feedback to physicians that since you referred me to ARDSI, this is the help I got, and that will convince the physicians to continue referring other family members. So it is also important that the family members give enough, whether it's negative or positive, all kind of feedbacks to the doctor, so that the doctor continues to. So this is an ongoing process, and I think each of our chapters continue to do that. Coming back to Srinivas, you mentioned that you plan to come up with a product. Basically, I think a tracking product. Is that what you have in mind, to track a person, whoever has got lost? So I think, again, you look very young, and it's great to see young people come forward again and participate in these kind of discussions and solve problems. So you are, again, you see, as I said, young people, problem solvers. So I'm sure, there's somebody here who can share their personal experiences, but losing someone with dementia, we have seen many cases in our organization. So, so when you think of a device to come up with, there are a lot of ethical questions, there are a lot of privacy issues, there are a lot of, the look of the product, how you're going to implement it. So these are, things that you'll have to consider. And I think you need to have a separate forum, where maybe a focus group where you can discuss with caregivers what are their issues. I think that would be a better forum for you to get your answers than I think today's forum where it's a general discussion. So, but I would really encourage you to get in touch with RC and see if you can come up with a focus group discussion on just this issue of wandering and how can we solve this. And we would be very, very looking forward to your, in future with your product helping many, many families, because this is a huge problem, not only in India, but all over the world. I think I will, Bala, yes, I will, but there are many questions that have come up. One is Mr. Narendra, I think he raised his hand. So I will go first to him and then to Shashikala and then a couple of questions. I think Shashikala already has a question, but before Shashikala, Narendra ji, do you have a question?
Yeah, I was just about to say this, like what you said, because there are two representations, one from, of course, from Srinivas, another one from Shashikala ji. The Shashikala ji, as I already asked in a chat, that do we have any support services there in Hyderabad, just as a daycare during COVID situation? So that is one thing. And another one experience I just wanted to share was that, yeah, it is very, like today's discussion, I think was very good. So kudos to both these speakers, Sindhuji and both those young people, Alok and Smriti. But one good thing which I saw with Alok and Smriti was that they truly exhibited the concept behind this whole caregiver series. Because when Nilanjana ji organized this, so we had a very healthy discussion, and we were underlining a fact that caregiving is not a burden. So it is a kind of a experience to enjoy and travel with it. So I think the young people have been a very good example for this, and I could see that like there were three generations in that whole video. So where I could see a kid coming in between, and also the elderly mother, and then these two people. So all of them were looking similar for me, and that was something which was very enjoyable for us to notice, and that has been a big encouragement for caregivers who keep lamenting that, yeah, what sort of a burden we have been put into. So I think that is a very good example, and once again, nevertheless, Sindhuji was very, very well articulating her own journey with caregiving, and that is what that we have all experienced. Yeah, because all these elders whom we have taken care have been epitome of some kind of mannerisms or some kind of respect for us. And we have always been in awe about their good mannerism. But then we are definitely taken by some kind of a surprise when we ourselves undergo. But then we always forget one thing, that it is the disease which make them to behave like that. And it is not that they deliberately do that. So, but by the time that realization comes, then maybe we start losing them. So that is where the real irony lies. But then kudos to both these speakers. And I would like Bala to answer Shashikala ji's question about care services there in Hyderabad. And she's more particular about the COVID situation. Yeah. Thanks.
Hi, Balaji. I've spoken with her recently about my mother's condition and my dad's condition when I was in Hyderabad. It's nice to see you on the video, to get a face to the the person. And yeah, it's really nice. It's the first time I've been in this forum. Thanks for sending the WhatsApp, and I definitely wanted to attend this Zoom meeting. And it's really, Sindhu speaking and telling her experiences and others. I think I really feel, there are a lot of people, and I should find time definitely to connect up so that I can connect up with my problems, my parents' problems. I really feel all these people who have spoken today, I can say that the parents are very lucky that all of you are together and are able to take care of your parents, though I wish I could stay with them in India and take care of them, and the time has come at this point of time. Like the other person rightly mentioned, that our parents have taken care of us, and it's the time we have to give them now at this point of time. So my case is slightly different, because like how Sindhu said, strict father and all that, probably slightly it applies to me. But my issue is my father being a medical doctor. It's very difficult to convince him, though he has probably forgotten a lot of medicine at this point of time, but still continues to say he's a doctor. To tell hospital on the recommendation of Bala Garu and her husband. They've been really nice and kind to me. At the point when I was unable to find anybody in Hyderabad in this tough COVID situation. So the psychologist over there also suggested that he should come to daycare, because as we all know, people who are highly intelligent and have been only workaholics in their life and do not know at this point of time when they should be resting at home and relaxing, they don't understand. I mean, probably it's the case with most of us, that they don't know what to do. So I was advised by the psychologist that I should get him to the daycare center. So 2 points I have. Now it is COVID, that I don't know whether daycare centers are accepting such patients. And number 2, I don't know how to take him to such places, because he is quite stubborn as the disease goes, the characteristic of this disease goes. So I want Bala Garu and the rest of the people to tell me if there are any centers right now at this stage where we can take my father for some kind of activity so that he is happy. So yeah, I want everyone to help me in this matter.
Ma'am, we will definitely try to help out Dad. In fact, I was a little held up today. I was supposed to give you a call because Shashi told me that ma'am is waiting for you to get back. So what we can do is I will try to do some arrangement to have a home visit by a clinician or a team, and then we'll see, depending on the distance, because we have a couple of daycare centers in Hyderabad, but from the place where you stay, your dad stays, to that we'll have to figure out how to take him and get him back. So let me think
sorry to interrupt you. My situation is even difficult right now, because my mother had COVID, I mentioned to you, and she recovered, though she's not fully recovered because her lungs are affected. She's the main person who takes care of my father as well as my brother. As I mentioned to you, I have a brother who's a schizophrenic, who lives in the same flats down, one floor down.
Yeah.
So my mother having COVID, and she's fine. It's not that she's bedridden or anything. By the grace of God, she recovered, but she doesn't have the energy anymore to deal with my dad and my brother. So the problem is, we have an attender, a girl who's taking care of my dad. My dad is okay sometimes, but as I told you, that high intelligence and what to say, and they don't know what to do when you don't have any other activity other than just your work, and there's no other activity in life. I feel that, it's very difficult to entertain yourself, but maybe it's a part of those diseases as well. So I think you people have more experience than me. So maybe a daycare center or a place like the Samiksha, the psychologist suggested in Asha Hospital, that he can be allowed to bring to, Banjara Hills, which is really a faraway distance, to put him to use being a medical doctor. So I'm highly confused of how to entertain him or to take care of him at this point of time. And definitely your advice and your interference in this matter is I'll really appreciate it, because it's time now that I have to take care of his needs, because my mother is feeling, the pressure of him.
I'll definitely give a some alternative arrangements very close to where your father is staying, ma'am. So I'll connect with you on phone.
Sure. We'll talk. We'll
Yes,
talk about it.
definitely. And I think Alok or Smriti has a.
So, ma'am, I heard they were saying that the experience speaks out. Even I am very eagerly waiting to know what should be, what was the experience of the caregivers who have taken care of their loved ones who've been affected with dementia. I'm very eagerly to know, and I want to know the area where I need to improve and give much more care and support to my mom. Even that field even helps me also. Even I'm very open to discuss about what exactly I'm doing now. Ultimately, we don't have any set of inspections like there's a protocol we need to follow and there's a streamlined process for this business. So it's like ultimately learning out of someone experience is the only thing what we are seeing now in this dementia. So I would even people talking about their experience, how they were taken care of. Yeah, so I want to know, I'm noting down each and every point. Okay, where am I missing anything? So, taking care of my mom. So I just very eager to know about their experience and all. And the second thing is, I just want to know how is the society, aware about this disease? What is the ongoing process of this disease? What are the exactly medication available as of now? And as I see, Washington News headlines, we can see newspapers recently, one of the drugs which was recently approved for Alzheimer's, wherein might be in a moderate or very early stage, it's been working well for them. So apparently I see some news which are saying, okay, that's not that effective. There are some controversies going on. So as I'm seeing that from a US standpoint, FDA has approved it. So I just want to know what is the Indian contribution there. My analysis, I came to know that there is some indigenous molecule for this, that is TGR63. TGR63, which is an indigenous. The Indian scientists have brought this in. This is working more efficiently than the one which is recently approved from FDA in US. So I just want to know where is the progress of that? Is that bringing, is that connecting any way with the families which are going through this phase? And any option for us to open up for the trials, at least phase 2 or phase 3 trials for the families, at least to check whether that's working fine or not. At least for the future people who get affected with this, they should have a perfect medicine. And the second thing is with the recent COVID situation, and I see there is one more brain fog kind of terminology which came in, and which is actually affecting the we call the neuroplasticity, and again it is leading to a forgetfulness, which is almost similar to a dementia or Alzheimer's. I mean, so now I also saw that there is some medication which is there and it's working very well. It's been on mice as of now. Phase 1 trials was done for this brain fog one, which is coming due to the COVID for the patients, or might be with the vaccination. Somehow it is related to COVID here. I am not that expert in that. I'm still going through all the different articles and trying to understand, am I missing anything? Is my research going well in a correct way? Which is to be expected, and keep on giving support to my mother. And I want to end up, I just want to know about these things and answers where we are in the Indian standard, and what is the line of treatment for the Alzheimer's as of now. And what is the expected one? Is there any hypothesis wherein we can say, okay, expected near future, we are having a very good medicine which is working well for us? So if at least keeping updated about what's going on in and around the environment Indian, so that would be really helpful for us.
Thanks, Alok. Meeraji, Nilanjana ji, any inputs from your end? There are 3 or 4 questions.
Meera, you want me to go?
Yeah, sure. And then I will continue after you go.
So thank you for asking those very important questions, because since this is a disease, the first point that comes to our mind is how do we treat it and, get this over with. if not right now, maybe for future generations, and especially for those of us who will be reaching 60, 70 in few years time. We are at a time when dementia is going to hit us as an epidemic, and so we need to make sure that we are prevented. Now, in terms of research for treatment and medications, this has been going on for years. Billions of dollars, spent on the research to find a cure. Now, all these, the medications, in terms of medications, treatment that you see, that you read, these have been going on for many, many years. But till date, none are a complete cure recipe. Okay, the recent one that you saw from the US, it is, yes, FDA approved, but there's a lot of controversy, as you mentioned. There are many points to consider there in terms of it is basically for ones that are in their very, very early stage of the condition. It is going to only work for people who are in their very early stage. Secondly, this is hugely, hugely expensive. In the US, it's next to impossible to even think that in India, especially in India, we do not have any insurance coverage. So you have to pay out of your pocket. So there are a lot of things to consider before we even think of the treatment, and of course how helpful that is going to be for the person concerned. We usually try and think that, okay, if this works, then maybe mom is going to be back at what she was, but it's not so black and white. So there are a lot of layers in between that we have to consider. So I think at this point of time, we should leave it to doctors to kind of decide on the clinical part of the diagnosis. But what you can do as caregivers is to make sure that you enrich her quality of life. And to enrich her quality of life, you really, it's not the medical intervention that is important. It is, her day-to-day interactions, the communication you have with her, in terms of the environment that is presented to her, the food that you offer her, the little things in life which will be more important to her than focusing too much on the medical intervention and trying to find what's going on, because we spend a lot of time, because right now we feel that there is medication for every illness in this world, and either it's going to just cure it, or it's the end. There is a thing in between where it will not be a complete cure, and it will not be the end of the world too either. So I think focus on that part where you can still keep, because if you focus too much on finding a cure and medical, okay, what's going on in the world, you're spending a lot of time on things that are not in your hand. Focus on things that are in your hand, and give her, like right now, I think this last episode of this series was particularly very fascinating in the sense that both of the speakers, all three of you gave a face to this, whatever you're talking about. So Sindhu had her father in the background in that picture, smiling picture, and you had your mother sit with you. And as Narendraji put it so well, that you actually brought life to this discussion. And I thank you both for thinking about it and doing this. So I think these are more important than, of course, medical part is very, very important, because that's again a practical thing to do. But I think it's a very gray area still, all over the world. So
There is what we are balancing basically. So who is behind, like, I am not able to see, we have to get mom back to the situation. And he's be like, what is there in Ayurveda? What is there in homeopathy? I'm like, let that be. Let us see, what that is important. Like, that is how we are balancing is like, that is there right now. We have to, I would like, okay, we're giving the medicine. She's on certain medicine. We are trying to stabilize it. So that is how we balance. He is like, we have to be updated, we have to be reading it. And from this background, I was like, no need to. Let us, whatever she is, whatever now, how she is, let her give her all the provisions.
So in fact, Nilanjana, I need to add a point here. This duo, brother and sister, have been a source of, inspiration. I wouldn't call it instigation, so to say, because they have these questions which really, propel somebody to, start thinking about, are we in the right direction, or, can we do a little more? Because yesterday, they, when I just said, guys, are you ready for tomorrow's call? And they said, we are trying to compete as to who's going to get more time with mom, and they were thanking COVID that they're working from home and there is competition between the brother and sister that who's going to spend more time with mom, because it's a beautiful learning experience. It's actually giving them more time to be with her. And
I can see it's like my mom is acting as stress buster for me. Even my office meetings and deliverables, if I'm not reaching something going negative, so I literally spend time with my mom. I really feel stress free completely. I sit with her, start laughing with her, I just enjoy with her.
In fact, Alok,
and Alok and Smriti, having both of you all has really, brought a new dimension to our caregiving. Yes. And then because you're youngsters, I can understand your anxiety. All of you all want an immediate cure. So even if there's something in America that has happened, and you can, that is what I think you're talking about. But as I agree with what Nilanjana said, see, I'm on the World Dementia Council, and that was constituted with our goal was to find a disease-modifying drug by 2025, because we had all these pharma companies and, all the scientists and everything. But work has been going on for the past 20 years, and billions of dollars have been pumped into research for a cure for Alzheimer's. And it has not been easy. And in the US, the Alzheimer's Association is pumping in the maximum amount of money because President Reagan had it. And that was when awareness about dementia came in. And since then, the most research in the world has been focused for finding a cure for dementia. This is just a starting point. This drug, with all the controversies, is not a cure. It can only delay the progression of the disease. And that too, as Nilanjana said, in the very, very early stage. I was a part of a couple of discussions, webinars, where they discussed the pros and cons of this new drug. So there is no confirmation that this is any way better than all the other drugs which are available in the market. At the same time, they are just prohibitive in their costs. So we had a discussion on why are you all making drugs which are not affordable to the majority of the people who live in the developing countries. There should be drugs focused on also the other part of the world. So a lot of research will go on. This is just the starting point. And after this, many more pharma companies are also working in the same area, and they are hopeful of new drugs coming to the market. It may happen in the next 10 years. It may happen, and for it to reach our part of the world, it may take another 10 years. But I'm glad that you have this, that anxiety and say, come on, we also should be there in the race. We should get the drug immediately so that our parents can, get benefit from what are the new research and new advancements made in the in the fields of medicine. So that's good. But today we don't have any medical persons on our, our forum here. So Nilanjana and I will not be able to answer as well as them, but from whatever discussions I have been on, I can tell you this is just a starting point, but there is no way, because there was one person who said, I'm willing to take my father there to the US, to get this, to administer the drugs if they feel that they can slow down this disease. At the moment in India, what we should concentrate on, especially you people, is on risk factors and prevention. That is just as important as a cure for us. For a large population of India, what we need to focus on is risk reduction, especially with the new lifestyle. as what you are working in, the field, our lifestyle. Many of the lifestyles are what are causing the disease. So we have to take care of BP, we have to take care of diabetes, see that we don't consume too much of alcohol. And the mantra is, I don't know whether you have heard of it, is what is good for the heart is good for the brain. So that is the mantra. So youngsters follow that. And from a very young age, they say, you can start this from the womb. That is when you can start. So at least from the teenage, we need to educate school children, we need to educate college children, and how we at least take preventive steps so that more number of people don't get dementia. And there has been evidence that the curve is coming down in certain countries because they have focused on risk reduction. Whereas in India, it is on the rise. So we could do, as Nilanjana said, not only focus on the caregiving aspect of it, so that is possible for us. Through training and awareness, we can see how better quality of care is provided for persons with dementia. So we can concentrate on that on one side, and on the other side, to see that the numbers are not galloping, we can concentrate on risk reduction and
So
how to take care of that.
I can say so from my side, if I say why I'm looking for medication for this is like I always recently I've meeting a couple of Ayurvedic doctors also wherein they are saying some or the other way we can try to manage her but not cure. But yeah, they had a tagline. Even if I talk about the reality or in society, when we consult a doctor, immediately when we say about my mom's condition, they say, okay, we have this medication should have been started pretty earlier so that you have been seeing some result as of now. So that's what, again, I don't want to clear that point. Again, I don't want to blame that, okay, you didn't start this medication immediately, you didn't act on it. So I just was looking in that term. And the second thing is like, yes, we have faced that insurance part also, but I just have a question. Why insurance is not covered for this disease? It's a chronic disease, as same as cancer and all. Why insurance is not covered for this?
Alok and Smriti, yeah, thanks for asking so many pertinent questions. But I would just for the drug thing, I would just draw some information from the last talk, the last series of talk, so which we had for Northern Zone. So we luckily had the privilege of having Dr. Manjari Tripathi from AIM. And what she said was about the drug was that you please wait, okay? Let us have Americans as the guinea pig for this. So, and see the results so yet it is not much proved. So let us wait and see that if something good happened, then we can go for it. And second thing, what Madam Meera also underlined was the cost is too prohibitive for us to afford. So, and she has very nicely put up that we need to more concentrate on risk reduction, because in the Lancet study has already very effectively put it, like 40% of dementia can be reduced if we can keep our lifestyles changed and be careful about right from the age of 30. So with these things, I think, and once again, coming back to your last point, like Ayurvedic cure in any form. So there are so many kind of stories going on, and I would still advise and suggest that please don't believe in all those things, because anywhere, even when I started career in this thing, somebody came and told me that some rheumatic drug which can be injected on the spine, Enbrel, can bring back the memory and all these things. But nothing of that sort is somewhere very consistent. So it can be 1 in a million and 1 in a trillion cases. So don't believe all those things. And whatever you're doing is the right thing, because you are doing the right thing. You are carrying your mother, and she had a good opportunity to care for you, and now you are just returning back, and that is a wonderful thing. So please do this, and this is a very blissful experience, and I really congratulate both of you, and also the younger one who was just roaming around. And I think you are the real energy and driving force for a quality of life. Okay, because that is what is underlined. We have to underline the quality of life that you are ensuring is much bigger than any drug. Okay, so being a layman, that is what the message that I would want you to understand. But other than that, don't think about any drug, whatever she is into. Please consult doctors and don't take anything for yourself or by reading any article. So all are some kind of things which are not yet proven. So as Nilanjana ji said and Madam Meera said, so you need to go by that, and risk reduction is the mantra for youngsters like you. So please have a safe time, and I really enjoyed hearing both of you.
Sure, thank you so much, sir.
Just wanted
I
to
keep on
add.
bothering Balaram with all the
No,
things of what I see in
it's not a
newspapers or
bother at all.
headlines.
It's not a bother at all, young man. I think you also stimulate us to start thinking a little differently. But just to add, the best cure to this problem as it stands today is what each one of you have implemented on ground with your loved ones. What Sindhu has done, what you're doing with your mom, is the best cure. Medicines, they'll come whenever it has to come, they will come. I think the satisfaction of being there, taking care of things, and being able to spend that time not feeling guilty about, okay, I could have done more. Don't be in the guilt mode. Okay, please do that. Don't blame yourself. That is the first thing. Do your best and let her be happy, and you guys be happy. Be more relaxed. This is my cure to the problem. I'm not a doctor, so you're doing a wonderful job, ma'am.
I think, the questions that he has in terms of the treatment, in terms of insurance coverage, these are very practical questions.
Absolutely.
And I think, what you need to do is not just bring up these questions to us in this particular forum, but you also need to write to the media, talk to the media, talk to the insurance people. I think the more you talk, you start the conversation, you will get answers. So do not focus your questions to only groups like ours. I think you need to open up your audience to who you question. So it will not just be Bala that you will question or us. You will question the doctors, you will question the insurance people, all these insurance company that we have in India. Why don't you just write a letter and say, why don't you just give me the answer to this question? I think once there has to be someone who will start this conversation, right? So, because, everybody has their agenda and why they are covering one disease and not the other. See, dementia, as Meera mentioned, I mean, something that was acknowledged as a disease just few years back in India, right? I mean, it's still not the highest health priority for the government. So, in terms of advocacy, that is what ARDSI does, talks to the government to bring dementia, highlight dementia. So I think as young people, I think that's where we need your energy to question the community, question, the government as to because what you question now, you will see the reflection maybe in 10, 20 years. So I think keep questioning and, do not stop. I think that is what I would encourage you to do.
One single point that I want to add, Alok. See, today I had a chance to talk to Mr. Bunty. I think he also was your reporting manager from Chennai in Cognizant, and he had So he had the same question about how it was such a pleasure to work with Alok, and it was such a pleasant surprise to see your face on the poster which I sent to him, and we were talking about his sister-in-law's father who's in Kolkata, and he's a dementia patient, and he asked me the same question. I said, let us start from the CSR initiative at Cognizant. When you're talking about master health plan for the family and self, right? Let's start a discussion on this platform where we can also have a representation of youngsters who are going through this journey through various forums. Once you can write to insurance companies through media. That is one thing. Two, I have a family health insurance cover given to me by my corporate. So let's ask them these questions. How can we have a representation? Because this is going to, you should touch all fields and all forums, not limited to, like Nilanjana said, maybe a Bala or Nilanjana or in this group, because we will be there. I promise you that I'm there with you guys, and I'm going to ask you I was just talking about this same point to Bunty when he said, I want to be part of this session. But I think unfortunately his wife is a little unwell, so he took her to the hospital. So this is
that's
what.
Great, Bala. We connected my home manager from Chennai, Bunty. Yeah, I thought someone else.
Small world, my friend.
Okay, I think we will wrap up today's session. If there are no other questions, Bala, you would want to wrap up?
So I think I like, Sindhu was telling, I cannot stop when I start. So
actually, one more thing, ma'am, like something similar disease is the autism. See, that has got nowadays attention because of lot of interventions from physicians and other people. Government has implemented lot of schemes in autism area. I am doing some research in that area. So similarly, we can actually bring up the problem of dementia, how to face them, all those things. That's all.
So you just have to kind of glamorized old age, because when you talk of autism, you talk of young people, and they are the future generation. They are people who will be productive in years to come. Yeah. But when you talk of people with dementia, you are talking of unproductive people. But, so let's learn how to glamorize old age and and sell it. So let's work together to do it.
Dementia is not actually a disease of old age people. It can occur to
early
any people.
Yeah.
Whoever is working at an
mostly
age.
But mostly it is an old age. Yeah. It's related to age.
We are categorizing it as old age disease. But if it happens to some families which are of the early memories having that problem, then it will be a disaster. So we have to think more about it.
Actually. So Sindhu, to answer the question, I have seen that disaster at a very young, early age, caring for my father. And currently I'm working with autism schools, and I'm trying to have an intragenerational facility. We are talking about how we can integrate these two aspects of, caring for elderly with dementia, or, and also caring for someone with autism or, some disabilities, youngsters. So the discussion is on. So we can all join together and see how we can so-called glamorize this part of it, because as Nilanjana rightly said, we are willing to invest. It applies to us also. If I retire, I'm thinking twice to even spend 10 rupees on myself, because kya karna hai abhi? I'm growing old. So this is a mindset that we need to change slowly, saying that you've earned your hard-earned income, have a peaceful end, a happy end to your life. So it has to be glamorized, it has to be emphasized that you need to have a graceful exit from this world. So let's work together. I am discussing with autism schools and institutions here.
They may be happy in their own world. We may be the strangers. That's something.
Absolutely. Let them also explore our side of the world.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to all of you for making this very interactive session. Thank you, Meera ma'am. Thank you, Nilanjana ji. Thank you, Narendra ji. And thank you to all the participants who have been very patiently listening to our stories, and the wonderful superheroes who have made my evening very, very, inspiring. And, now my gray cells have started acting fast. So I don't think dementia is going to come anywhere closer to the spectrum, but I'm going to act on it, how to make it a more dementia friendly environment for myself and the people who I care for. So this is my thoughts after listening to this session today. And ma'am, any inputs from any one of you?
Thank you so much from my side too. So I got an opportunity to express myself and clear my doubts now. Absolutely. Yeah, so I'll start moving in different direction now as per the suggestions and guidelines.
Thank you. And we will definitely get you answers, Alok. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Okay. Thanks everyone.
Thanks, Bala, and all speakers.
Yeah. Thank you everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Thank you, Nilanjana ji.